but it could be 2 signers, but only one is there. The other one at work. He think he gonna do it later. Now he ain't gonna do it later. He ain't gonna do it later. He gonna do it now. He gonna show up right now when we go to meet each other at this appointed time and place. Both of y'all gonna be there. Nobody got time to be playing them games. I think I've just been scarred. Well, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about some questions that I compiled for myself to help me out when I first started out doing general notary work. So I decided I would share those with you. Maybe you want to get a pen and paper, get ready to jot them down, because I'm pretty sure that if you have not started doing any general notary work yet, you may want to know the answers to these questions before you actually accept a general notary assignment, either through the signing services, because they come through that way, or if someone decides to call you, if they catch you on your Google My Business page or whatever. If they do, kudos to you. I haven't been having too much luck on that one, but you know what? That's a totally different song and dance. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. Right now, we're just gonna talk about the questions that you may want to ask so that you don't be blindsided when you head out to meet somebody for general notary work. So you ready? Okay. Put my glass on. Oh, y'all know I can't see. So the first thing I wrote down, because I learned this the hard way, is to ask them what type of document they have. Because it could be a power of attorney, it could be a deed, and you're gonna need to know that, because if you don't know that, then you don't know how to proceed. Because it's a good chance that you may need witnesses. Because let me tell you something, these signing services, they will actually give you general notary work too. Now they'll tell you the price, what fee they're gonna pay you. They're gonna tell you how many signers it probably is. They're gonna tell you how many sheets it is. I have not run across one yet that has told me what the actual document is. So they tell you as soon as you accept to go in, get the phone number, go in, go and sign an order, wherever you're getting yours from. Mine's become from sign an order. Get the number and call the person at that point. So when you call them, you want to make sure that you ask what type of document it is. And that way too, if for some reason you don't know how to handle that document, then what you're going to do when you get off the phone, you're going to immediately look that thing up. If you got to go on YouTube, if you got to Google it, you're going to look it up so that you already know when you leave the house what you got to do when you go meet this person. See, everything on my list was to help me get a heads up so that I don't leave and be blindsided or get somewhere and have a brain freeze. Because when you're nervous at first, this is what happens. So this list hopefully will help you out. Next thing is pertaining to the same thing I just said. Well, if you will need witnesses. Because if you don't know if you need witnesses or not, you don't want to pull up somewhere and you come to find out you needed witnesses. Now you're going to look like you didn't know what you're doing. They don't know they need witnesses. And they're going to think that you should have told them over the phone when you talk to them. When you call them to verify appointment time, you need to know if they're going to need witnesses. And you'll know if they need witnesses by what type of paperwork they got. And if they need witnesses, now you want to know, are witnesses there? Do you have witnesses? Are they going to be witnesses who you're trying to use outside of your immediate family or inside your immediate family? And these people play a role within these documents, because if they get any type of beneficial, anything going on with the documents, they can't be a witness. So you need to make sure that they have witnesses, and witnesses who they can actually use. The next thing I wrote down was, do they have satisfactory IDs? You talk to them on the phone, you want to ask, do you have ID? Is your ID up to date? Do you have valid ID? Does the other person, if you're someone else, do they have a valid ID? You want to make sure that they have everything that they need to have. If they don't, then they're going to have a credible witness who can vouch for who they is, because they don't even have no IDs. So you have to make sure that all of this stuff is intact. And I know it can sound kind of harsh, but I have never yet had to have a credible witness. I haven't had to have a credible witness. Everybody so far has had a driver's license, and it's been valid. But just make sure they have it, and tell them to make sure they have it on them when you come meet them. Because you don't want nobody to say, oh, I think I left it at the house. Now you're sitting waiting on somebody to go to the house. I'll only be a few moments. depending on where you meet them at. You know, all types of stuff like that can pop off. And now you looking silly because you mad because you know they already ain't going to pay you much through those signing services to do no general notary work. Unless you charging your own fee coming from your own Google My Business page. Other than that, you ain't going to get much. Now you waiting on somebody to go home and get an ID. No, we ain't trying to do all that. Make sure they had an ID. Ask them on the phone. Do you have an ID? What type of paperwork do you have? So now you can cheat and figure out what type of paperwork. And do you have witnesses? If they need witnesses, make sure your witnesses are there. Don't bring your daddy. Okay. Next thing, it's pretty much similar to having witnesses. How many signers do you have? How many signers are there? Now, of course, through signing services, they do tell you if it's more than one signer. But it could be 2 signers, but only one is there. The other one at work. He think he gonna do it later. No, he ain't gonna do it later. He ain't gonna do it later. He gonna do it now. He gonna show up right now when we go to meet each other at this appointed time and place. Both of y'all gonna be there. Nobody got time to be playing them games. I think I've just been scarred. Maybe I'm scarred a little. No, everybody gonna be there. I'm not waiting. I'm not coming back later. Meeting another time for the other person. He got something else to do. If it's more important than this, then maybe y'all should reschedule. Oh, yeah, I think I'm scarred. But anyway, the next question is, where are you located? So now, if you are doing freelance general notary work, once again, through your Google business page, you're marketing yourself, somebody's contacting you. Okay, so they contact you, you want to know where you're located. Because if it's too far off, or for the new ones who are afraid to go to people's homes, you don't have to. You can make arrangements over the phone to meet at the closest in-between spots. Or since you're a general notary and you driving, that's what you advertise. You're going to have to go closer to the location where they are. But you can still meet in a neutral location. I don't care if it's a Starbucks or the parking lot at Ralph's. I don't care. As long as it's somewhere where there's plenty of people around. If you don't want to go to their house, you don't have to. But you want to ask these questions. Don't be afraid to tell a person, I don't want to come to your house. Don't be afraid to stand up and say, we're going to have to meet in a neutral place. Matter of fact, don't even just say it. We're going to have to meet in a neutral place. As soon as you get to talking to them, the first thing come out your mouth, once you get a chance to breathe and let it out, be like, okay, so what neutral place would you like to meet at? Do you have a Starbucks or a coffee shop somewhere near your home? Or maybe we can meet up at the parking lot really quick at your Ralph's or your Food for Less or your Food Town, depending on where you live. Make sure you ask. That way they know offhand you ain't planning on coming to the house. Oh, well, I wasn't going to leave the house. If you really don't want to, then you call the signing service if that's where you got it from, and you let them know you don't want to go to this person's house. And they can give it to somebody else. And we already talked about what the signing service can do if they don't like the choices that you make, because this is your choice. And if you feel uncomfortable, you do not have to be forced to do anything that you do not want to do. Why? Because you're a grown-ass man or woman, and you just don't have to. If you don't want to meet a person at their house, you don't have to go to somebody's house. So make sure that you ask all of these questions. So once again, make sure you wrote it down. What document do they have? So you know if it's a power of attorney or a deed or any of those things that may require a witness. Then you want to ask, do they have a witness? Do they have 2 witnesses? And are these witnesses not people who they sit and giggle with every day in their immediate family? Because if it is, they do not need to have any type of beneficial ties to these documents, or they won't work as a witness. Do they have satisfactory IDs? Make sure that you know how many signers they have. And not just so that one is done dipped out somewhere and doing their own thing, but also because depending on where you at, because here in the state of California, if it's 2 signers, that's 2 fees. So you want to know so that you can quote your price over the phone. And make sure you ask them where they're located. And if you're not comfortable meeting them at their home, meet them in a public spot, a neutral place where people are just walking and having a good little old time. That's what you want to do. And I think that once I started asking these questions, I have them on this little paper. And if I decide to take a notary work, if I have to go in there and actually pull the person's phone number and call them, because you know they want you to call immediately. As soon as I go in there and decide I'm gonna call these people, the first thing I do when they answer the phone and they all nice and chipper, I go to asking these questions and I have a little sticky note there so that I can write down all of their responses. That way, when I get off the phone, if I have to look up something, they got some little wacky paper, I don't even know what that is. I may need to look it up and see what exactly am I supposed to do with this paper. So I may have all these different things that I may have questions about. But if I write it down, then I can do my little due diligence and look stuff up. So, just write it down and get comfortable and stop being afraid. Put your big girl panties on, put your big boy drawers on, and go get that money. Y'all know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe, turn on notifications, because I'll be bringing you something else later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good day.